Ooh. It's crispy. It's so crispy.
I got to move the microphone down so I don't give them a promo that they definitely need from Black Tower Podcast or they're going to go bankrupt.
Oh man.
It's fucking Wednesday, my... Well, no, it's not. It's
Daddy.
Tuesday, my dudes.
Tuesday, Daddy. Or if you're not a patron, it's Friday morning and you're tuning in to the Black Tower Podcast on your way to work and you're going, man, you guys are so brilliant and amazing. And you blow my mind every Friday. What am I going to do when you blow my mind again today? Well, I've got your answer right here. You're going to be amazed and happy and all the things, all of your wildest dreams are going to come true today. I can feel it. It's true. It's happening.
But you know what else?
No,
they could have come true sooner. Patron.
Wow. The eighth on Mihail just dropping truth hydrogen bombs. Don't give him no shits.
Glove up.
Glove up.
Bruh. Oh my goodness. Everybody, welcome to another terrifically tainty Tuesday episode of the Black Tower Podcast with our thespian of thoughts. I don't know. The alliteration wasn't going too well there.
You got this. You can do it.
I liked it.
Just keep that.
There was enough. Flow. There was enough there, I think. So it was just like the beverage I just poured, half head, which was also
which is a very frustrating
one of my exes. It's about all you get in the early ages of experimentation because we get tired very early on. Everybody's still trying to figure out their stamina levels and how long it takes. The twist and grapefruit techniques, hadn't been invented at that time.
Oh, this is the quality radio you signed up for. This is the quality YouTube you're here for.
This is the quality YouTube we get community guideline violations for, apparently.
Right. This guy over here is the Bijan Mihail. His name is Andrew. What's up? Say
That's
hi.
Me. Hi. Oh, man. This guy right here is Josh. He's a Sorvon Mihail.
It's true, I am.
He's looking fantastic in green. I'm sad he took his hat off because it was a very lucky hat.
It was pretty bad.
It had about 4 clovers.
Oh.
Look at that.
There it is.
Let's see if we can do this in sync right now, Andrew. And this lady is
the Atheon Mihail.
Fail.
Hey.
They're that fucking jelly sleeve. It will never not be funny. Oh.
It's the Walmart size regular.
I'm suddenly very intimidated.
5 below for the Magnum.
The boy trying to bust on a budget. The Walmart regular. I feel like Walmart would give those out like in the early days at like little like neighborhood events, and they'd be like full of the little smiley faces.
They're like the AOL.
Only $1.
It used to be.
If you want the next size up, you got to go to 5 Below, and it is $3.
Oh,
I wish I had I wish I had 5 Below.
Okay,
I mean a 5 Below around here.
I was a little disappointed in the lack of St. Patrick's Day fare, I guess, at 5 Below. I really enjoy going to 5 Below because it's right next to Wine and Spirits.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was right next to all the St. Patrick's Day.
It is Tainty Tuesday, and we are the misfits of the Black Tower Podcast, here to serve up a slice of slimy taint for your ear holes and eye holes. So,
hey, I took a shower before recording. Yours may be slimy, but mine's not.
No,
mine is freshly cleansed.
And due to legal reasons, the Black Tower podcast does recommend that you keep your taint cleansed at least once or twice a week.
Hygiene reasons as well.
You may scrub with a loofah. I scrub with a freshly constructed lattice.
Ooh, a flower
siding.
within a cone that is hovering over a. No, snakes and foxes jumping right into the chat. Someone say eye hole. I have. He can feel it. His foxy senses are tingling. Oh man.
Well, if you want all of your senses to tingling, go and check out blacktowerpod.com for all things Black Tower Podcast, where you can find all of our taint-filled merch through both merch stores that we have, as well as a link to join the Discord, which you definitely want to do. There's a whole lot of fun stuff that happens there. The Watt Fantasy League public channel's there where we can all chat about it. If you're a patron, you definitely want to be there so that you can be a part of the patron exclusive channels, all that fun stuff, as well as our Dragonsworn on demand, where you can normally get access to the 5 most recent episodes if I remember to update the list. There's always 5 episodes at least available.
Yeah.
And the audio ones are always the most recent 5. The video ones might be off by an episode or 2 at any given time because it's not automated and it's hard to remember, especially as the years go by.
Can't be tamed. Okay, we do what we can.
That's another good sticker idea.
The taint
cannot be tamed. Somebody write that down. Write that down.
Write that down. Also,
go on over and check that out.
To our merch shop, you can get the new Ethan Mahale super sweet icon logo merch thing. Bam! Get it.
Be amongst the first.
You could be a member of the Aethengar. Join the Aethengar.
Gloves up.
Gloves up. That's the.
I think I have a new design for us, but because
Aethengar.
I have a new design for us, somewhat unrelated, but I don't want to show it until JordanCon. If what I've ordered comes in, you will see it at JordanCon as part of one of my cosplays. So, which I'm very excited for. I'm very excited for.
I'm into it.
It's so nerdy stupid.
Immediately, yes.
And it does not feature a belly button butthole. So
dang it.
Rest assured.
Well,
not this
there goes
year.
guess.
Not this year at JordanCon. I might save that for WattCon.
All right, all right.
We'll
so long as I get at least one serving of butthole this year.
At least one serving of butthole. Speaking of serving butthole, let's make sure you're all protected for today's episode. This protection comes courtesy of Adalorna Sedai from North Harbor Podcast. Prepare thyself, because your butthole will be afflicted.
This is your official spoiler warning. This episode contains spoilers for all 14 books and the prequel. If you are still listening and you haven't read all these, you want to be spoiled, don't you? You crave it. Getting spoiled without putting in the work? Well, get ready. Here it comes.
Naughty, naughty. You're really a naughty boy, yeah.
I swear, man. I cannot wait to reset this freaking router. Because if you notice that I keep freezing, I don't know what's going on. All right, I bought a new router, and it's acting like it's worse than the old router. I might go back. Anyway,
who knows?
It wouldn't be the Black Tower if there weren't technical tainty troubles.
I have to ask, is that like what kids say these days? Like, oh, damn it, my router.
Do they? Look,
I don't know.
That's the perfect excuse, like when you're trying to like have like the internet sexy times, but you're a little too shy. Oh no, my router!
Oh, no,
like it used to, like for us, it used to be like, oh, I'm going through a tunnel, you're breaking up, but now it's like, oh no, my router's updating firmware. Oh,
look, don't talk dirty to me, okay? Oh man.
Is it me or does your dad have a VPN? I can't see shit.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no, is that another unscheduled software upgrade?
We're off to a kick and start. I love it. I love everything about it.
You know who else was off to a kick and start?
Who's off to a kicking start, Andrew?
Verin Sedai.
Baroness Sedai. Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy.
Also, fun fact about this here thumbnail. This thumbnail has been made for like a month at least.
Nice.
Back whenever Reese was going to originally come on as a guest, before there was really, I think, a full thought about Reese becoming
audition episode.
Yeah. This was Reese coming on. We were going to talk about Verin, shadowy influences. How do you like the little dragon? The little dragons too?
Love it.
What? You know, Verin is a big responsibility. Okay,
she is.
I panicked.
Hey, I don't blame you. That's absolutely fair. But we weren't going to let you get away from it because we knew you were excited too. So I have saved and saved and saved that thumbnail. It went from being episode, I think, 18 to now episode 21.
Hey, we're getting there. That's what matters.
Actually, that makes it only sound like it was 3. It was planned way earlier than that. Yeah, one of those things.
It's way better than it sounds. Yeah.
Oh, not that one. Logo, not overlay. Whoopsie doodles.
Whoopsie doodles.
So the idea about this is a bit of we've already done a character dive into Verin into Verin. You got to be careful with the spaces in that phrasing.
Words
a
are
while
good.
ago. Yeah, articulation is important.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember that time that we were at Jordan Con and Daniel B. Green was like, "Man, you can tell you guys are podcasters because you enunciate all your words so clearly." Thanks for that, DG.
Because we edit out all the times we don't.
Yeah, but also we're that good too, like you said. So thanks.
Something like that. But we like doing theory type episodes. And this kind of is a mix of a character dive with a little bit of theory mixed in. So that the thought is how much of the things Verin does are influenced by the shadow. And when I was rewriting the description for the YouTube video, because I had written it and then everything aired out, and then I wrote it again and saved it, but it didn't save, and then I wrote it again. Well, I pasted it again and edited it a little bit, and then when I looked today, it didn't save again. So you got like the lamest version of what I wrote. Like the third one was like a paragraph. It was like I felt very proud of it. Then I looked today and it didn't save any of it, and I'm like, well, yeah. We're almost at the 20-minute mark, I think, so we're almost safe. I don't know how long YouTube's algorithm looks for.
Well, or I've got this handy little devil. I can just be like, "You son of a!" I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna you the face, and then I'm gonna take your dog and I'm gonna, and then once again from the top, and get a cheeseburger. Wrap it around a wrench, throw it in the backyard, and with an extra large jar of grape jelly.
I don't know if I should be scared or turned on.
It's a little of both, and I'll be honest. I know he said nothing, but I feel much better.
Oh man! All right. So super quick,
have a
brief.
Cigarette. Sorry. Okay. Never mind.
I need a cigarette after that. Yeah, that's fair. No, but I got cigars.
I've got a pipe.
I do have a pipe and hopefully not completely dried out pipe tobacco. It's been a while. I was like sitting outside with fires when it was cold doing that. But then everybody in my area suddenly thought that wood got alchemically turned into like, I don't know, not gold, but like dirty silver. Right. And started charging an arm and a leg for it. And I'm like, you're all fucking nuts. You're crazy. Like, I'm not paying $200 for like a quarter face cord of wood.
What?
You are beyond insane,
dude.
Like obviously that's with delivery, but that was Facebook Marketplace. That was Facebook Marketplace.
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you, people around here lost their minds in valuing their wood. I'm like, your wood might look cool and it might look pretty stacked up, but your wood is not worth $200 for you to bring it to my house.
Gentlemen, let this be a lesson to you. Do not overvalue your wood. Okay, nobody will want it.
You need to get a second a second opinion on the valuation of your wood. It's not just the length, the girth counts as well.
The texture.
The texture.
Texturing.
Well, just don't ask the VA what they think about mine.
The moisture content.
All right, so super quick, done, dirty, dusted review of Verin, who she is, and some stuff she does. The only alchemy worth that much inflation is Nina. Is it Nina, the daughter that gets merged with the dog in Full Metal Alchemist? Yeah, that is her.
That's her, Nina Tucker, baby.
Now I'm sad. Now I need Verin's cup of tea.
Edward.
So Verin Mathwin was an Aes Sedai of the Brown Aja. Yes, I say was because she does ultimately die.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Spoiler, yeah. That's why we did the spoiler warning. So
I know, I was just being funny.
She presented herself as somewhat scatterbrained, like the typical sister of the Brown Aja, kind of like doing like randomly, like they were known for smelling of parchment and having ink smudges all over them, being obsessed with knowledge. But instead, Verin was actually incredibly sharp and intuitive, very strategic, and was very good at making herself seem unassuming. She was a scholar with an impressive amount of knowledge about obscure or esoteric fields like the Portal Stones, the Age of Legends, and Teleron Riad itself. She started researching the Black Aja. She was amongst some of the first sisters to discover for herself that the Black Aja had infiltrated, the Dark Friends had infiltrated the White Tower. However, she was caught in her investigation and forced to join the Shadow and become a member of the Black Aja. She was basically given the option, join or die. And we find out through her chapter with Egwene that is titled what, Josh?
Is it A Cup of Tea? Is that what it is?
I believe so.
I think it's A Cup of Tea.
Yeah, I believe so. That basically, in the moment, she decided that rather than using the moment to stick to her conventions and stand up to the Shadow, she would still do that, but she would do it from within and use this as an opportunity to gather as much information as possible on the Black Aja to pass it on. And in this, she cleverly swore her oath so to say that she would not betray anything about the Shadow until the hour of her death, which in that chapter...
It's a chat with Verin Sedai.
Oh, yeah, that's it. A chat with Verin Sedai.
Oh.
A Cup of Tea is when...
People are going to be pissed.
I know.
We did not remember.
Edit that out. A Cup of Tea is when... I thought that sounded not right. A Cup of Tea is when
Elaine... don't you say a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You're sworn to secrecy until the hour of your death. So yeah, Verin very cleverly swore her oaths, vowing to not reveal anything about the Shadow until the hour of her death. At which point, in the chapter "A Chat with Verin Sedai," she has consumed tea with poison that will kill her within an hour, thus allowing her to not break her oath because she physically can't break her oaths that she swore to the Shadow, so that she can reveal and hand over all of the information to Egwene, so that Egwene can root out the Black Aja in the tower. Because, of course, at this point, Egwene has been captured as the rebel Amerlin seat and has been sitting in the White Tower under Elida, who acts very much like a Dark Friend, but surprisingly is not. She's just that fucking bad. So, Verin was born in 849 NE in Far Madding, which should be a place that people remember, because Far Madding is known for its fancy statue that prevents people from being able to channel in Far Madding.
Dommy mommy culture.
Yeah, very much. Chronologically, she is first mentioned chronologically, that's a very important distinction. Chronologically, in terms of the timeline of the books, not in the release order of the books. She's first mentioned in New Spring Chapter 3, first appears in New Spring Chapter 10, and then, of course, last appears in The Gathering Storm Chapter 39, which is
also
a talk with Verin Sedai.
One final syntax, I just looked it up. It is...
Or a visit from Verin Sedai.
From Verin Sedai, yes. Sorry, everybody. We got it. The third time is a charm, as proven again and again by science. Scientific fact.
Yeah. To the point where even in the end, her affiliation, despite her oaths to the shadow, is still considered to the light. She did potentially some of the most important work amongst the Denzians of the White Tower in fighting the shadow, because she wound up discovering the vast majority of the network of the Black Aja in the White Tower, and had it all laid out, written out how the connections were, who the people were, how they connected to each other, a ton of information and their plans in a notebook that she handed over to Egwene, who's probably the best possible person to turn that information over to, because at least in the books, Egwene had been tasked with hunting down the Black Aja since book 2, since Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Or Dragon Reborn's book 3, sorry. Yeah, since at least Dragon Reborn, I believe.
Yeah.
Because they're tasked with it by Suon Shanshi not too long before she is, deposed. Spoilers for what should be relatively to come in the TV show. We'll see. Who knows? Not us.
Knows? Not us. We didn't even get screeners.
I mean, we're not important.
We are not.
We're Don't let anybody fool you. Important.
Don't let anybody fool you.
Yeah. So
we're like the Black Tower.
Born in
people
born in 840
until we're too powerful. Sorry, you can.
We're not better.
No, it's fine because I'm trying to do math. So born in 849, she didn't go to Tar Valon until 864 NE, which I think makes her roughly 15? 14, 15? Yeah, it's about 15. Potentially right around 14, 15-ish. Which is kind of wild by our standards because she was already engaged. She had a fiance named Edwin, who she still to this day remembers his mischievous smile fondly, but she was exiled from Far Madding for her ability to channel, which comes back when she goes with Nynaeve and several others back to Far Madding, and they're like, if I remember right, she goes back with them, and they're like, hey, you were fucking exiled, and she's like, I got the fancy ring, you can kiss my ass. If I remember right. You motherfucker. You son of a bitch. How fucking dare you? Speaking to Verin's talents, that she didn't have to commit atrocities against her own family just to maintain her state funding as a state alchemist. She spent 5 years as a novice and 6 years as an accepted, which is a short amount of time as a testament to her skill. Being raised to the Shah and joining the Brown Aja in 875 NE. So by the time that the book series starts, she has been running around as a full-fledged sister for over 130 years, about 133-ish years.
Dang, that's good.
Yeah.
Full Metal Sister.
Full Metal Sister. Full Metal Sister.
I love that Reese has only been on the show for like a month now, and Paint already has her firmly in its grasp.
Look.
Oh, yeah. The taint waits for no man.
Or woman.
Yeah. 929 NE is when she joined the Black Aja. So she's been doing that whole shtick for about just under 70 years, right around 70 years. Give or take some months.
Real quick, just pause for just a sec, right? Because the spoilers are out of the way. We know that
that's pretty much it. That's about as far as I was going to go with the quick flashbacks in Verin. Because I'm kind of getting into the weeds here, and we're getting to the point where we need to be able to theory.
And we did already do a background breakdown on Verin Sedai. Obviously,
we done did diddly do, neighbor.
We done doodly done did it. And obviously, this is a character we could talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours because she is one of the more prolific characters
only 1 hour
in this series.
You're only allowed to talk about Verin for 1 hour at a time.
But just, I mean, like the numbers that you just ran, right? 70 years. This woman, not only did she acknowledge the existence of the Black Aja long before anybody else did, She acknowledged the existence of the Black Aja, started a study and investigation of the Black Aja, and was so good at that she got discovered and ended up joining. And then for 70 years ish, she was serving as a double agent. Like this when you go back to the beginning of the books, right? This makes it so much more understandable. It makes it so much more believable as to why Verin almost immediately knows that Rand is the Dragon Reborn. Because at this point in time, the only people who know this are really not even, I mean, we as the reader are like, well, yeah, obviously he is. Like, he's been the main character of the book, so Rand is the Dragon Reborn. But as characters in the story, they don't know. They have a pretty good idea, but what they know is that Rand is the only one among these three Ta'Veren who can channel, and now Rand is going off on his broody quest to become the Dragon Reborn, and Matt and Perrin are like, oh, well, this sucks. And Verin is like, oh, the boy is the Dragon Reborn. And Moraine is like, shit, do I need to kill Verin? And just that she's been a double agent for 70 years and knows what's coming. I can't imagine the skill involved in not being detected by either side for 70 years, for an entire lifetime, let alone gearing up for the literal last battle in which the two sides that you're playing off of each other are about to step into the ring. Like, that's impressive as a character.
I mean,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
I
Reese?
think I do.
Know what I mean, Reese? Reese? Do
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes, I believe I know what you were saying.
Okay, good. Whew. I was like, make sure I wasn't speaking in tongues all of a sudden there.
You were a little bit, but I got it.
So, I think one of the crazier things, Verin probably knew anyone who Moraine brought in would be the Dragon Reborn. I mean, that's probably fair too, because she spends a lot of time like poking and prodding about Moraine as well. So, I mean, she does that because when they're at the Portal Stone, she does a ton of pushing at Rand to be like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do, because all she needs is him to do it once. And right. She's like, it's confirmed. Which she gets like super easily. Now, like, obviously, like, Moraine has done a lot of the legwork to put him in the position to kind of bring them around each other. And even Moraine, which is interesting, like, I think a lot of Moraine stuff was like kind of intuition and gut feeling, because Moraine was like, don't trust anyone, especially Verin Sedai. Like, but I think that was more just Moraine being like, she seems really interested and observant. Don't trust her.
Right.
They looked at the doorknob for 5.3 milliseconds too long. Don't trust the doorknob. It's a mimic. Like, that seems like Moraine seems like the person that goes through a dungeon not touching 90% of things, thinking it's all a mimic. Like, she's the one that like fireballs the door open without ever checking to see if it's unlocked.
To see if it was just unlocked, yeah.
Just because the DM described the door a little too much. A little too much.
You know what? Better be safe than sorry.
That's true.
I mean, it's your fault for using up that, fireball is a third level spell? It's your fault for using up that third level spell slot.
True.
Well, if the door had attacked us, I'm not sure you'd be saying the same.
I mean, fair point. So there's that. But one of the theories I find the most interesting, because to me it adds depth and adds a bit of rationality and reasoning behind what otherwise seems a mostly irrational and almost inexplainable action, is Alanna and her forced or non-consensual forced bonding of Rand. And there's been a long-term theory, an argument made that Alanna bonds Rand because of Verin's either statements implying that they should have bonded Rand, Matt, and Perrin when they had the chance at the low end, and at the high end, even going so far as saying that Verin used a very light level of compulsion on Alana for her to bond Rand. Now, there's a fair argument to say that Verin would not have used compulsion or encouraged Alana directly to do this because she wouldn't have done anything to help the White Tower put a collar on and control Rand. My counter to that statement is that Verin is smart enough to see that Alana is not going to run with the ideations of, especially an Elida-led tower, a tower that seeks to collar and control the Dragon Reborn entirely. Especially knowing and being around Rand and knowing how Alana feeling truly how Rand feels through the bond as much as she can is going to change her impression of him, and that she would also be susceptible for anything he had to go through. I think that Verin is smart enough to, with the wealth of knowledge she has, to look through the Corinthian cycle, to look through the prophecies of the dragon, and see that this was potentially something that was, as much as I abundantly and absolutely hate to say it, kind of necessary to an extent. But like absolutely horrible and unexcusable and unacceptable, but kind of need it to happen. Because if nothing else, the simple action of Alana forcibly bonding Rand puts him so far away from wanting to be around Aes Sedai for the next like 7 books or however long. Asking me to tell you exactly what chapter or book anything happened into is an exercise in futility. But for the next several books, that I think it does the opposite of the concern of like putting a leash on him for the White Tower. It does the opposite. Like it makes Rand go like, no. The last time I let one of you kind of around me and I kind of like didn't have my guard up, you did the one power equivalent of SA to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the rest of you can fuck off.
It's almost like you could argue that he like Verin the least like possible evil out of this scenario, and having like one small bond as opposed to this entire like caged thing, which did not end up happening. And it's kind of funny. It's almost where you could argue that Verin kept the tower from committing a worse atrocity by pushing this into happening instead. She kept them from doing what, it was like Alana took responsibility as opposed to the tower taking responsibility. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Verin's one of those characters that like you could argue what her motives are all day, but boy, she is a maneuver. She maneuvers.
Yeah.
Like she's moving. She has things in place. She's
layers within layers.
Yeah.
Within layers. She's an onion.
She's an onion. She's an onion character, that one.
Did she help them? Did she help Perrin and them find Rand after he was captured? Or did they have enough to go off of?
Yeah. She and Alana were there and they were like,
oh yeah, she did. She used the bond to help them find him at Dumais Wells, and again when he was at Farmath.
Yeah. So here's an interesting thing about that theory that you bring up, Andrew, because Verin, what do we know about her brand of compulsion? The only people who are susceptible to it are emotionally compromised. Alana at this point in time is the most emotionally compromised because she's dealing with the death of a warder. Now, is it at the Shadows direction, or is it literally just Alana? Is it just Verin being, like Reese is saying, like an expert maneuverer? She's playing 4-dimensional chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
Well, she's taking advantage of her bonds, because if she was still under the 3 oaths, she could never do this.
Right, and that's the thing is like I think
so. The Shadow maybe isn't making her, but is enabling her.
The
Shadow is an enabler. That's the biggest problem we have here.
Well, because the thing is that the Shadow at this
you
point
enabling
in time,
asshole.
Yeah, right. The Shadow at this point in time doesn't understand the bond, right? We haven't gotten to the point yet where the Forsaken, kill a warder and decimate the emotions of an Aes Sedai. So they don't yet really understand the bond. Now, I imagine Moradin probably would, being able to walk the earth for 40 years every 1,000 years or whatever it is. But even then, maybe his instructions, because we have the Dark Friend Social, and we know that Verin is there. We know that everybody gets their own instructions. Maybe her instruction there is to get a leash on the Dragon Reborn. And that's her solution to doing this without drawing attention to herself as a member of the Black Aja. Now everybody can say that Alana was emotionally compromised and did something stupid, but hey, we've all done something stupid after losing a warder. My question then becomes, was Verin partially responsible for the death of that warder? Or is she just capitalizing on that as an accident?
Before we get into that, quick question. Masana was the one that pleasured a warder to death, right?
Yes. Lucky bastard.
Did she ever tell Morden / Ishii about that?
Not on page, but I'm assuming she would have eventually.
I mean, or did he just watch and find out because he masterminds the plan to kill Alana at the opportune time?
At some point in time, they have to figure it out, right? Because they've killed enough Aes Sedai at this point in time to see that their warriors are going berserk.
That's a fair point. Anyway, Reese, what do you think? Do you think Verin played a hand or
Steppin's
well, in any way, shape, or form in stepping on Steppin?
I don't know. I think this is a tough one because you've got, the different facets of Verin. At her core, she's a Brown. She wants knowledge. She wants to know what happens when certain things happen. And I think that having to swear the oaths kind of gave her a unique perspective in that she was able to push these boundaries farther than she would have been able to had she been bound by the three oaths.
Definitely.
And I think there's kind of like that gray area that all of Robert Jordan's characters experience, and that did some of this go a little bit farther than it had to just because it was kind of interesting, maybe. And I think with Verin, that's very probable. She wants to know.
Really kind of the question is, right, is we could dissect every single thing she does in the books. Like, let's take, for instance, there's a time where she's trying to leave a city, right? She's trying to travel. And every time she gets to the point where, she knows the room in her hotel well enough to travel, she gets moved out of that room for some reason. At one point in time, the inn gets burned down, and all of a sudden, Matt shows up, and she's going, "Oh, so you're the Taviran web I'm caught in." And Matt,
you're the son of a bitch that won't let me leave. And Matt's like, I just fucking got here. Like,
what? Did she get in trouble with the Black Aja? Did she get in trouble with one of the Forsaken? Was she supposed to report back? Like, were there ramifications for that? And if so, like, how? I feel like you could have an entire book series redone from Verin's point of view, just looking at every single situation. And was this because Verin is clever? Was this because Verin is fighting for the light? Or is this something that Verin has to do for the shadow and can't really find a good workaround? But I feel like
purely a survival thing she needs to do.
But she never feels like she's in survival mode. She always feels like, okay, like the bonding, the forceful bonding is a perfect example of this. It definitely feels like Verin was commanded to put a leash on Rand. So she did. She did, but she complied with that order in the most Aes Sedai of ways.
I almost wonder if that's kind of the most basic of this argument is, would the average Aes Sedai had made the choices Verin did? Or was it just Verin that made her make this selection to be that kind of like, oh, I would like to know this, and take that option C that most people don't take.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think Alana was a convenient opportunity. Like,
yeah. At the very
okay.
least,
It was just my screen that froze. Sorry, I thought everything froze.
Oh.
My bad. That's why I stopped. I don't know what I'm having so many tech problems this week. Anyway, I think it was a thing of convenience but also it's almost a bit of Verin pull, because how unique does it have to be for somebody as skilled and very subtle kind compulsion, the kind of compulsion that doesn't leave your mind damaged, like Verin is able to weave, for her to be available, for another Aes Sedai to be there who is already familiar with having multiple warders, who then loses a warder, who then is already predisposed to not only having the multiple warders, but taking on more warders after having lost warders in the past, who generally has shown nothing but absolute respect. I mean, well, not forcibly bonding somebody doesn't take that much respect. Like, to be fair, but somebody that would never in a million years otherwise consider this to be in such a vulnerable position, to so desperately want to have another bond to fill that void, to be in a position with the perfect person skilled enough with compulsion to put it on her, for Alana to be that, to give Rand, because I don't think anybody's going to argue the benefits that Rand gets from the bond with Alana is a massive reason why he's able to fight as hard as he does for the remainder of the series. It gets bolstered whenever he, bonds the Holy Trinity of Booty.
Yeah.
But, well, the holy duo of Booty and their heavily bathing friend. But
all right.
I think there's got to be a bit of Tavir-ness in that as well. As horrendous as it is, it's a bit of like a, not ends justify the means, but doing something absolutely horrendous, not because you want to, but because ultimately it serves the greater good, because it gives Rand the fortitude to hang on just enough to survive, to have his Bodhisattva moment. Because that bond is also what is used by Cad Swain for them to find Rand and Farmatting. That the very same bond with Alana. So, and I think part of the whole thing, even in Shao Ghul, is that I'm fucking stupid because I don't remember, or I don't remember because I'm stupid. One of the two. But Alana, she does, like, I know she dies, but she doesn't die at exactly the opportune moment. Like there's something, yeah, like she's starting to, but there's, through some effort of just Tavir-ness and the time dilation, like the moment that would have been opportune just like slightly slips away. Yeah. And oh yeah, so Nynaeve is unable to save her, but keeps her alive long enough for Alana to release Rand from the bond so he doesn't suffer the ill effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right, because Morden channeled his inner I don't know. I'm trying to
going
think of someone famous.
a bit off theme here, just because it's, on the brain. What do you think as far as the show is concerned with this whole storyline with Alana and Rand?
I was thinking about that. I think everything, like her whole breakdown with Maxim and her saying you're not enough. Thinking about this now, I think might be how the show is setting the stage for the much beloved Alana to do something incredibly heinous to Rand. I'm also worried that the fact that the show has made Rand out to be the bad guy for no fucking reason other than they wanted to hold on to Rand and Egwene far longer than necessary for no fucking reason. I'm worried that kind of disdain for Rand being the philanderer that the show has made him out to be is going to deaden the shock of that moment with Alana.
See, I almost wonder if that might open him up to it, in that he's feeling very vulnerable too. Like, he had opened himself up to this person. He made a point. He made a comment at one point where it was like his first real relationship. I can't remember how he said it, but it was to Rand or to Perrin or Matt, where he said like his first real relationship, and they were like, Egwene, and he was like, no.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how I knew it was real, because I kept. Oh, you're saying Egwene wasn't the first real one?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering.
Sorry, I was going to make a joke about keeping berries in my pocket, but it doesn't work now.
Yeah, the chin's just shriveled up there. But I wondered if they might tie that in and kind of like.
Yeah. Honestly, who knows? Fuck, like you could have Moraine forcibly bond Rand.
I mean,
because why not?
Why not?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
I don't know, man. Like there's so much about this particular storyline that it's like Andrew says, right?
I like the fact that we can't predict it. I do like the surprise factor that we don't know what's going to happen. And overall, I still do like the show, but there's definitely parts in the entire show where I'm like, at the very least, I'm like, I want to see how this pays off before I make my judgment. And I've been vocal about plenty of my stuff before. This is about Verin, who I love.
Yeah.
But Josh, anyway, you were saying.
No, I was just gonna say. So really, if this is still gonna be a piece of the storyline, like they have to do it fast because it's a sped up storyline. There's no time to dilly dally except for all the added plot that they add in. They are gonna have to find a reason for Alana to go to Tyr because that's where Rand's gonna be next, right? Is in Tyr with the Aiel taking Kalendor, and now we're gonna have Moraine with Sakarnin dying, probably passing Sakarnin over to Nynaeve, which is going to be fun because Nynaeve is already scared of all her power. Rand holding Kalendor, and then I don't know. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to bond Rand. I don't think they're going to have that included. I think they're going to do something else. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think if they do it, it won't be this season.
I think it would be
too much trauma.
incredibly disingenuous and problematic to include problematic and trauma for other characters and then make the deliberate decision to not include semi-similar, relatable at least level problematic and trauma issues with other characters that would actually add to character development. But
how much
I know Wine mentioned this. Like, it took me a second to like realize what Wine meant by the message. We haven't seen any TV show. We haven't had any TV show based shows. I was like, what? They're talking about for us. I know for season 2, I think we did one where it was like everything right with season 2, and then we did one where we were like everything wrong with season 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a fair chance that we'll do that again for season 3. We generally don't do too much like direct show based ones. Because, again, we're mainly a book-focused podcast. But we will bring in stuff from the shows if it comes in.
And we cover the TV show.
Yeah,
we cover the TV show with Fantasy League as well. Which, by the way, this next Sunday is going to be week 7 of the Fantasy League. And that'll set everything up for the finale. And the winner will be announced live at JordanCon. So, if you're going to be at JordanCon. What do you guys think that they're going to make Verin a double agent in the show?
I don't know. I have questions about the show in there, like what they're doing, because I feel like they've got condensed timeline. They've got outside inner. I don't know how to.
Andrew was like, "Screw you guys, I'm out of here."
Yeah, he's like, I don't even care. What's happening.
Reese is talking again. Ugh.
I know, man. I'm gonna check him in like ladder. Hold on, let me get closer to the microphone. So, like, I was thinking.
Oh boy. Anyway, sorry. So Verin in the TV show, double agent.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hard. I have somebody that I talk with on Twitter after every episode that we kind of like go back and forth with the things we liked, the things we didn't like. And
for those of you listening along, Andrew popped back in with the middle fingers. Middle finger to my haters.
But one of the things I brought up, they said at one point, like, so many good things, so many terrible things. And, I said, I just do not envy the team that has to balance between the book accuracy, the execs and what they want, the shareholders and what they want, what time constraints and budgets allow for. Who knows what they're able to get? And I feel like, some of it gets condensed, yes. And I feel like, with Verin especially, who knows what we're going to be able to get in her story. And who knows what they're going to have to shift to other people just to make it more impactful and still get the story out there. As a book reader, I have certain hopes, of course. But as a realist, I have certain things that I know I'm going to have to,
right.
give up. And
manage our expectations.
Yeah. And so I think, there are certain things that it's easy to be like, oh, maybe this and maybe that. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Andrew, what do you think? How much of this is going to be included in this show? What's your prediction?
Dramatic?
Dude, hold on. Wait.
Are going to
yeah. Got it. Got it.
Both of y'all stayed still at the same time for so long. I was like, did I freeze or not again?
Bam. There's a shot in our Discord of Andrew flexing. That's his. It looks like he's taking a selfie, kind of and he's doing look how sexy I am.
What the fuck are you talking? Oh God. Is that where it froze?
Yeah. It's my new game. Every time it freezes, I try to get a screenshot before you come back.
I can respect it because I know I used to do that to you all the fucking time. So yeah, I think they're going to include it, and I think it's also going to wind up being a thing where the scene where they go into the 13th depository, not to be confused with the 13th suppository.
Dude, yeah,
just after
those are wildly different things.
Yeah. Disappointed when you did 13, but go ahead.
I mean,
I'm disappointed
I'm still
you stopped
started.
At 13.
But whenever she cleverly kind of dodged the compulsion weave, which honestly kind of looked like she threw it into Adelaus.
Yeah, there was a crazy kind of but she still got hit by it though.
She didn't get hit. She fucking pewed it away kind of.
But she still had a bloody nose.
Yeah, I think she intentionally did that, to mimic what happened. Which is why she flicks it away and then looks at Adelaus to see what happens, so then she can fall. And I think she deliberately hit her nose on the ground so that it would bleed. Because I think the bloody nose is from the fall on the ground, not from the compulsion.
Oh.
Because compulsion is not supposed to leave a visual effect like that.
Well, it's not supposed to, but this is for TV.
So. Who knows? Anyway, I think she suspected that. I think she suspected that Naomi was a dark friend, but wasn't sure, and that's what allowed her to be somewhat on her guard, and kind of deflect it because Naomi was really fucking quick with it.
I like that actually because
can't say she was crazy quick because Leandrin was faster.
Ayo. So actually, with that, I would say that I too think that they're going to be doing some double agent stuff in the book. So does that mean that Alviar, who would have been in Verin's heart? Interesting.
That's a good question. Other than Edwin, I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. I think we can talk about. We could probably have an entire podcast dedicated to Verin, because of how just insanely great she is at being awesome. The fun thing about this is finding actions that we think that were with the shadow or were ones that she just did because she's clever. I think I like the theory that she compelled Alana to bond Rand, and I'd like to think that one of her instructions, because again, at this point in time, the Dark Friends social, she would have reported back that she, was in Faldara, and the Dark Friends all know that Rand was at Faldara. So I would be willing to bet that her orders at the Dark Friends social were to put a leash on the Dragon Reborn. And I would be willing to bet that she used Alana to do that, to divert suspicion and can keep in touch, keep in compliance with her orders in the most Aes Sedai way possible. I think that's what's going on. And I think the fun of this particular topic is going through each of her actions and going, did you do this because you're clever? Or did you do this because you're a dark friend? Like, why did you do this? And it's really fun. So good.
Yeah. She's almost like a scary character because we don't fully know.
I mean, when she's compulsing the Aes Sedai in the Aiel camp, that was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
That was 100% terrifying.
I had chills. They were multiplying.
It was electrifying.
I was losing control.
I'm telling you.
But the one power.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I think she was more clever and strategic than anything, and she was able to use pretty much everything to her advantage. I think she got stuck in some shitty situations where she had to choose between like a horrible outcome and an even worse outcome. Like, do we let Rand get collared by Elida, or do I push Alana to forcibly bond him so he's so horribly traumatized and pushed away from Aes Sedai that the only way Elida could get him would be to kidnap him?
Yeah.
And then it's like, he got kidnapped and be like, oh, fuck. Well, good thing part of the bond is that Alana can help track him and free him. And, he commissioned a guy to train literal weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
So there's that. But, yeah.
What the power? You're supplying.
Reese is she's done. She's off in her own little world now. We got her started on musical theater. You little nerd. It's okay.
All of you listening, what do you think? How much of all of the awesome or not so awesome stuff that Verin maybe did or didn't do, who knows, do you think is all Verin, or things that the Shadow are making her do, or some combination of both? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. You can hop on over into the Discord and let us know. You can email us. You can do all that fun stuff. You can find all of our contact methods on our website at blacktowerpod.com, where you go for all of your tainty stuff from us. We cannot thank you enough for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed and somehow you listen to an entire hour of us rambling on, please do subscribe if you enjoy what we do here. And leave a like on the video if you enjoy. All that kind of fun stuff. Even if you don't enjoy, leave a like on the video, comment, tell us what you don't like, all that crap. I've been your Bajan Mahale. My name's Andrew.
And I have been your Soravan Mahale, and my name is Josh.
And I have been your Aethon Mahale, and you better shape up.
Oh! Because I need a man. And my heart is set on you. Better shape
Your heart should be
up.
set on Edwin, just like Verin's. Oh, thank you all. We love you all. Good night, good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever it is. Fucking
stay tainty.
Go somewhere else. Have fun.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show. In the tower, you can bring your pain. In the tower, you can feel the strain. You've been having so much trouble